G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for the start of a new series of Grim Dawn. This time we're doing a playthrough specifically designed to get you to level 100 in hardcore, and to get all the hardcore achievements after having done that. The character on your screen is the first character that I ever got to level 100 with, and it's the character that I used to get all the hardcore achievements. That's right, we're doing the obligatory Death Knight series. Though I do feel that I should mention here, if you want to play any other Soldier Mastery combination, you will be able to play along with this guide and you'll be fine. So if you've ever wanted to finish the last of the Grim Dawn achievements, or if you've always wanted to try hardcore but never had the courage, or if you just want to play along and have a level 100 Death Knight at the end, this is the playthrough for you. Since this is a guide on getting the hardcore achievements specifically, I'm not going to cover achievements that can be attained through playing softcore, and I am going to recommend doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. Our entire purpose is to get the achievement. Everything else is secondary. However, before we get to the playthrough, this video's title is The Plan and not Episode 1, and that's for a reason. For a lot of veterans, this video and the links contained below may be all you need in order to do this yourself without having to watch a 30-hour playthrough. If this is enough for you, then by all means use it freely, including the links that I have below, and good luck to you. For everyone else who wants more explanations as you go, or just to have someone to play along with, the plan will be followed by a full playthrough showing everything over the coming months, complete with my commentary for why I do the things that I do, and why each item is used. So, first up, what even are these achievements? What is it you need to do to get them? Well, I group the hardcore achievements into three broad categories in my head. The first of which is the gimmies. Now these are the achievements that are either easy or you're going to get just by playing the game to get the other ones. And believe it or not, getting to level 100 goes here in the gimmies, especially after the upcoming version 1.2 patch, which will allow you to go all the way to level 100 in normal difficulty. So, in no particular order, the gimmies include Immortal Legend, which is for reaching level 85 in hardcore, Monomythic Centennial, for reaching level 100 in hardcore, Immortal Savior, for killing the Logorian on ultimate difficulty in hardcore, Immortal Shattered Vanquisher, for completing Shard 25 of the Shattered Realm on Ultimate. The next category is the Skeleton Key bosses. Now these seem really scary, but there's good news. These ones are free. You ignore these until you've got a level 100 build with good gear, and then you go kill them on normal difficulty. You heard me correctly, you get all of these on normal, it's a walk in the park. So the Skeleton Key boss achievements are Immortal Executioner, Immortal Conqueror of Chaos, Immortal Vanquisher of Valbury, Immortal Wild Tamer, and Immortal Light in the Dark. That is for the bosses of the Steps of Torment, the Bastion of Chaos, Port Valbury, the Ancient Grove, and the Tomb of the Heretic. And then lastly, we have the actually hard ones. There are only two achievements that I consider hard. They are the Immortal Savior of Malmo and the Immortal Celestial Conqueror. These require killing two difficult bosses in ultimate difficulty, and while I would not say that these bosses are super difficult or even close to being the hardest bosses in the game, they are difficult bosses for a fresh account, and you will need a good build with good gear to kill them. They are, of course, Immortal Savior of Malmoth, Immortal Celestial Conqueror. That is, killing Theodin in Ashes of Malmoth, and killing Korvaak in Forgotten Gods. Alright, so we know our goals, we know what our achievements are. How do we get there? How do we do it? So what follows is a series of Grimtools pages, and the links will be below, with the character plan for various levels. All of the items in these Grimtools links, except for one, will be shown with no affixes, and you should use the affixes on your gear to fix your resistance holes first. Anytime you see a white item, it means that there's no MIs for that slot in this level range, and you can feel free to use any rare, epic, or legendary item you happen to find. Gloves and boots will pretty much stay white the whole way through, though I will have some recommendations for them. Of course, if you happen to find an item that you think is better than what the guide has, please by all means use it. In general, we're looking for items with the resistances we need, high armor, percent physical resistance, health, and stats. If it has physical damage, that's good. It is a nice stat, but it's not something you should be prioritizing. So the first Grimtools profile is this one you see on the screen before you, which is for level 30. You should be at or close to Homestead by this stage. Make sure in Act 1 while you are leveling you get Milton's Cask and a Shambler's Heart. These will be good for you until they are replaced in Act 2 and Act 3 respectively, and you can reset your game and kill the bosses again if you don't get the drops. These two items will be immensely helpful early on. Also, make sure you get the Slith Primal Ring from collecting the necklaces in Act 1. This ring is a really good item for resistances, and you could honestly still be using this ring right up to Ultimate, honestly. The Fortified Doublet will make for an okay chest until you find something better, and Isaac's Shoulders can be used if push comes to shove, though they should be replaced quickly even just by white items by the end of Act 1, because they are pretty bad. So at level 15, after rescuing Angrim, we're going to craft and apply what I refer to as the default components. They are shown here on the Grimtools, though you may not be able to do all of them right away, either due to level requirements, lack of crafting materials, or because they haven't dropped yet. These components, as well as the items shown here, will get our resistances to a good place. The items I have on this Grimtools link have no affixes for a reason. Those affixes are going to fix your resistance holes, but we are going to do most of our heavy lifting with drops that are farmable or quest rewards, as well as our components and later augments. Resistances are very important in Grim Dawn, and not having them will get you killed. It's very difficult to get the hardcore achievements when you're dead. In Act 2, make sure you rescue Stephen Skinner's family and equip the ring you get as a reward. While fighting Cromley's gang, make sure you farm for a set of Ascended or Incendiary shoulder plates and an Ascended Cask. That's the helmet. After we come out the other side of the Arcovian Undercity, we're going to farm our very first weapon. In the ruins to the north of the Broken Hills Rift is a corrupted tome. Inside are Chthonian Vanguard type monsters that will drop this. This is our weapon. Reset your game if needed. Take the first one you get with 2 physical affixes and continue on. This, like I said, will be our weapon until level 100, or until we find something better. There are some blues and such that would replace this one. In Act 3, or around Homestead, there are 3 items we want, as well as 1 item that's kind of nice to have. So the first item we want is the most important and will take the longest. We want Mogara's Fangs, and we want to farm it until we get one with the Of the Grove suffix. This will give us an amulet with +1 to soldier skills, as well as a defensive healing proc that has a chance to heal us when we get hit. The second and third items we want are Flesh Warped Plate Mail, which I have here on the Grimtools link, and a Flesh Warped Cask, which will replace the Ascended Cask when you get it. If you're low on Aether resistances, don't use the Flesh Warped Cask until you start the right side of Homestead. The second Grimtools profile is for level 65, which should be the start of Elite. Notable additions to the gear are the helmet, the chest, and the shoulders are all now faction items from the Mammoth Resistance Reputation shop. We are also getting the +1 to soldier skills belt, and we're using a Wendigo Glare medal just because it has some nice stuff on it and there's nothing that really stands out. We've also picked up Soleil Sect leg guards from the Hidden Path quest, and the Juggernaut relic, which if you don't get lucky with a drop, you will be able to buy again from the merchant at the Mammoth Resistance in Steelcap district, that being Hiram. This is probably the best leveling relic in the game in general, but it is really good for soldiers because it has +1 soldier skills on it, and that's yet another healing proc when we get hit. As I said, to get Juggernaut, you will need to either get lucky with the drop, or you can buy it from Hiram in the Steelcap district. For components, we've swapped out the helmet for a prismatic diamond. That's another defensive proc. The chest has now got Chains of Oleron on it, and the gloves have a Restless Remains. Do note that you will now need to use some of the affixes on your gear to fix gaps in your resistances. If we change this here to Elite, You'll notice there's a lot of elemental resistances missing, and we'll need a little bit of poison and piercing. Should be relatively easy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. 7 technically for Mogara's Fangs. So 7 items to get affixes on to fix basically 3 resistances. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then from this point onwards, we'll be more or less just updating gear as it gets old, or we get better drops. So there's going to be some purple and blue drops we get along the way that will be better. And we are more or less going to be using the same MIs as applicable and just progressing onwards. So this is the level 90 drop. This is all just the same as before, but with upgrades. The Coven Storm Seals here, from the Coven, obviously. We've picked up the Fetid Mask for +1 to all skills. There is one of these in Elite at level 75, and then another one in Ultimate at level 94 that we will never use, because we will have the Krieg set by then. And other than that, this is all just upgraded versions of the things you saw on the level 65. At level 94, we put on Krieg's set, and this should pretty much just drop straight in. Now, Krieg's set is often billed as an Aether set, and there is a little bit of Aether stuff on this as well. But if you notice, the top line of every single one of these items has up to 114% physical resistance. You'll also notice that the 5 set bonus down here, while it does add Aether damage and more Aether damage, Krieg's Wrath, which is the skill that it grants, actually does a decent chunk of physical damage and also percent weapon damage. So this could be a majority physical damage skill that just happens to have some Aether damage on it. And the procs you get on the gloves here, so Krieg's Fury, 10% chance on attack. You'll note that it is almost half physical damage as well. And then on the helmet, Aether Spines is also half physical. So Krieg's set can support a physical Death Knight or an Aether Death Knight just the same. Alright, so as I said at the start of this video, there's going to be some recommendations for gameplay styles and such that you wouldn't normally do. And the first of these is we're going to be playing on normal. Now you can do veteran if you like, and you'll get a little bit more loot. Please note this is not the same as better loot, but you will get more of it. You'll also get more XP, and you'll probably be less bored. But our goal here is to make this as easy as possible to get those achievements. Play on veteran with other characters. For the purpose of getting achievements, play on normal. Steamroll everything, get the MIs you need to make the transition into elite as easy as possible. The next thing we're going to do is avoid certain quests and areas. There are several areas with large amounts of Aether Fire on the ground in this game. We are not going to those areas. If you get a quest to go there, ignore it. We skip the Homestead quest to fetch their cannons back. It's not worth the risk of death. We choose Kaiman's Chosen when we get to Homestead, which means you can't take Necromancer as a class until after you've picked your side. The Death's Vigil quest called a Catalyst will take you into Stonerend Quarry, which is an area heavily covered in Aether Fire. We don't go there, so we're picking Kaiman's Chosen. Also, we're not going to kill Anasteria in Fort Icon, because the next Black Legion quest will send you to the Immolation. We don't go there, we don't do that quest, we don't go to the Immolation. But we also don't do Anasteria's quest, because they will tank your Black Legion reputation. We are also going to skip Forgotten Gods entirely until Ultimate difficulty. Our goal is to survive so we can get the hardcore achievements, and Forgotten Gods has some very rippy areas. We don't need to go there until we kill Korvaak on Ultimate, and by that point we will have an end game build, and it will be a whole lot less scary. So then we have it. That's the plan. If that's enough information for you to do it on your own, then Godspeed and good luck. And if you want to play along with me, then thank you all for watching. I'll see you in episode 1 coming up soon, and goodbye for now.